Okay, on to this video I'm going to show you how to make these air marks cutouts, explain splash effect. So with Photoshop mainly. From a tiny image of the air marks, I'm going to show you the image. So from scratch, this is mainly the image that you get. The link is in the description if you want to download it. So the first thing is to open on a new document this element. So I just drag and drop this air marks photo onto my top bar of Photoshop. I'm just going to set up my tiny element just for you to be able to see my click. So my left click is going to be blue and my right click is going to be orange into this element. So the main tool that I'm going to use to make the cutout of these sneakers is going to be the pen tool. I advise you to check the wonderful video of Unmesh and I put you the link into the description. It's really make full walkthrough on this tool, so that I found that it's amazing and interesting for you to check. So maybe I'm gonna let me place some room in order to work all around, but you can as well use the zoom tool, so you can press Control and the space bar in order to zoom in, or you can, if you're on a Mac, hold Alt or Option and just use your mouse wheel to zoom in, zoom out. Okay, there's another way to do that. You can, onto the window, use the navigator side panel in order to zoom in or zoom out and move into these different elements. It's all because we're gonna need to use the space bar to have the little tiny end to turn around the different element that I need to cut. Okay, so as you can see here, it's very difficult to see the laces here, so to cut that out, prefer to have some different kind of vision. So I'm going to use a different adjustment layer. The first that I'm going to use is going to be the black and white, and as so it's going to create something that you can, as you can see, you can modify the different level. I don't especially to move them, but I need to make it more contrasted here. So I'm going to use another adjustment level, and it's going to be brightness and contrast here. And I'm going to lower the brightness and as low, maybe up the contrast. I'm going to lower the contrast here in order to see the limit here. But as you can see, there is some element that I can't see here from the start to here. Yeah, I can see. So maybe I need to invent some bump into the laces in order to don't make them too flat. But mainly this is the vision that I'm going to use to make my cutout. So once you press P in order to have the pen tool, I just need to select a beginning point. So most of the time I begin from the top left point to go around, because it's more easy for us because we've written down from left to right. So I think it's more easy to use the pen tool that way. So once you've seen that, I advise you to step inside of the pixel here instead of trying to go too much all around and let this white space here. It's gonna be better and have a better result if we go inside the element that are a little bit scaled here. So I prefer to have this kind of shape, and I'm going to make the wall turn around. So maybe I'm gonna make another step into the video because it could be a little bit long. So I'm gonna make the wall turn around, then I took you back into the next part of the video. Okay, so once you have done the cutting out of this part, you just need to, with the P active, the pen tool, just have to make a right click and here make a selection. Okay, I don't want any feather radius and I want this option tick in order to make it more smooth, and I'm gonna click on OK. So now I got an active selection and I can press Ctrl J in order to make a new layer from this stuff. Into the pass element, you can see that there is still a backup of your layout here, of your cutting out. So it's still a good way to keep it that way. I'm gonna save it into it. Okay, I'm gonna save this document, and now I can use this. I can mask this element. So you can see that even if I mask this one, if you want to make the pass inactive, you just go to pass. If you don't have the pass, you go to Windows and grab the pass here, the pass panel, and if you click outside, you can see gonna make it inactive. So you can see that my sneakers is kind of clean. So I can create a new document now. So I'm gonna press Ctrl N, go to web, and pick the web large. Okay, and I'm gonna untick the artboard because I don't need to make any prototype on the web. So it's just to play with this stuff. Click on create. So I have a background here. I'm gonna double click on it to make it editable, and I'm gonna use this adjust layers here to create a solid color to create my background. So the color that I use is gonna be 77. That's gonna create some kind of a grayish color here. I'm gonna add new layers on the top. Here I'm gonna click to grab the default color, picking the white one, and press B to have the brush tool. And I'm gonna set my brush to a diameters of 800 pixels, something like this. And I'm gonna let the opacity to 100%, the mode to normal, but I'm gonna change the flow to 70% to make it more smooth. And then I'm gonna just click 2 times here. So then I'm gonna press Ctrl T and I'm gonna enlarge this in order to have something, yeah, something like this. Okay, so to make it really smooth. And then if you want to make it a little bit darker, you just have to lower the opacity. So you have to do the bold choice in order to create your background here. I just want something that make my sneakers pop a little bit. And then I'm gonna hold Control or Command on a Mac and then press Ctrl G in order to have a group, and this group is gonna be called background. So from now, don't know what I just missed, click my B. Okay, so from now I'm gonna pick my cutout, and with this layer I'm gonna drag and drop it directly into the untitled document and let it that way. Okay, so from now I just need to cut the part from the bottom and the top. Okay, so to do that I'm gonna zoom in, use the pen tool, and I'm gonna click inside. I prefer you to be inside of the zone, into the red zone, that to go too much on the limit because you can have some quality problems. So as you can see, I'm gonna go really quick to just make the turnaround. You don't have to be too precise on it because we're gonna make some correction after on the colors and the different element. Just gonna avoid to go too straight away. So if you want to edit this, you can still with the white arrow move a little bit your different element that way. So I'm gonna pick and continue all around. I advise you to go from far away in order to have something smooth, in order to make too much point into it. I'm just gonna avoid here, there is a tiny bump, so I'm gonna make the bump, and then I'm gonna go back with the more straight away line that I can do. Okay, so here I go. I'm gonna set a little bit of detail, smooth detail here, because I want to make it round. And from now you can just make the turn around like this. Okay, not gonna be a problem. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a selection, and the same way now I'm gonna cut with Ctrl X and V. Okay, so as you can see, I have 2 layers with 2 different parts of the sneakers. I need to have these 2 sneakers, as you can see, into my Air Max project is facing the left part, so I'm gonna do that with the same area. So I'm gonna press Control, select my boss layer, press Ctrl T, and do a horizontal flip into it. You can do that after or before, that's not really a problem. But now I have to make some correction onto my bottom part because it's supposed to be white here. So we're gonna mask this one and add some new clipped mask on the top of this layer. So I create a new fresh layer, and I'm gonna hold Alt, and reaching the limit, you're gonna be able to clip this. As a reminder, if you don't clip your element, you're gonna be able to paint on the top of this layer, but when you clip it, that's just gonna be allowed to be in the shape that it's under. Okay, so I'm gonna suppress that. My layer is clipped. I'm gonna lower the size of my brush, and here I can really go with this brush that is how to say, that it's smaller enough. So I'm gonna set the flow to 100% again, and I'm gonna begin to put some white here. I can overlap this part. I'm gonna delete that after. The main goal is to just have some white, but I'm gonna go with a smooth brush in order to don't erase too much detail here. But I definitely want something white in order to make it more clean. So I need to have something like this. Yes. So to clean that up, you can as though put a little bit of brightness onto the bottom part if it's not enough bright for you. And now I can press E to erase the tool and to erase the part that I don't want to have into this element. I go too far away here. So I'm gonna hold Shift in order to make some straight line, some kind of, yes. Now I'm gonna add the new layers again, just to do the same step but with the red, because I definitely want some red, some red color here. So I'm just gonna do the same stuff. Yes, even if I'm erasing some of the detail of the rubber part, like some shadow here, I can still delete the part that I want to grab here. Okay, in order to have something more smooth. Okay, because I think there is some white part onto the part of the rubber of the bottom part of the sneaker. So I think that makes more sense. So from now I can create a new layer with this one, pressing Ctrl G, and we are going to rename this bot for the bottom part of the sneakers, and we are going to do the same with the top part here. You can rearrange some part that means, like, I need definitely some more shadow stuff here. So we are going to do the shadow just by pressing Alt. So I'm taking the B tool to have the brush, holding Alt to have the eyedropper, and just from far away I'm gonna just erase some part that was white. And the same here, you can go from far away just to add a little bit more of red color. So now I'm ready. I'm gonna hold Control, create a new element that way. So, and we are going to rename this top. So from now I'm ready to play with the sneakers. I can pick the top element and I can press Ctrl T. As you can see, this element is ticked. This option is ticked. That's allow me to select where is my center of gravity, and I'm able to smoothly expand and to play with the next part of the video that's gonna be with the texture. So I can hold Control or Command and select top and bot, press Ctrl T in order to make it a little bit more tiny. Yeah, because I need some room in order to play with the texture, as you can see in my first element. So I think I need to have it even more small. Yeah, something like this. So let's see in the next part of this video how to be able to play with the texture and create the final gradient onto this document.